What's going on, everybody? Sausage here. What if running a local game store was less about passion and more about inventory management, gambling on cardboard, and spraying customers with deodorant? Welcome to TCG Card Shop Simulator. It looks simple at first glance, but it quietly ate 68 hours of my life. So let's break down what this game actually does and whether it's worth your time. So, the gameplay. TCG Card Shop Simulator is a management simulation game where you run your own local game store. You start small by running the register and stocking shelves and managing basic inventory. You earn money primarily by selling trading card booster packs, and with that money, the profits can be reinvested to expand your shop's physical space, unlock new card sets, and just buy general upgrades. You can then design your store layout by placing shelves, organizing products, improving customer flow, and you can even decorate by changing the carpets, the walls, the ceilings, and putting up posters, which is pretty cool. As for the products you can sell, that includes booster packs, individual cards, you can sell sleeves for your cards, you can sell binders for your cards, you can sell figurines and collectibles, and you can even sell tabletop games, which is pretty cool. But as you play, you can also open these booster packs for yourself and collect the cards that are inside. And just like booster packs in real life, some of them have rare cards in them. These rare cards can then be sold directly to the customers, or you can send them out to get professionally graded, at a cost of course, but then when you get them back, you can sell them for a higher value if they receive a good grade, which typically they do. Eventually, your store will get so big that it'll be hard to manage everything by yourself, so you can then hire staff and they can cashier for you, or they can restock items, or they can even refill the air fresheners with deodorant cans. Now, you might be asking yourself, Sausage, didn't you already say something about smelly customers? Well, kind of. The reason this is a mechanic in the game is because your store can get reviews online, and some of these reviews range from being too cheap, to being too expensive, to having lines that are too long, to having customers who smell really, really bad. Now, I don't know for sure if the reviews actually matter in the game, if it affects the gameplay in any way, but I would have to assume that it does. I would assume if your store has too low of a rating online, that it would mean less customers come into your store, and less customers means less profit. So it's a good idea to spray down your customers with deodorant if they stink too bad. Now, let's move on to the graphics and art. This game uses a colorful, stylized art style that I really enjoyed. The collectible cards feature creatures known as Tetramon for obvious reasons, and the card visuals vary by rarity and set. The first set of cards you can get are pretty standard, nothing too special, but the higher tier cards as you play will have full art designs, they'll have foil effects, and increased visual detail. Quickly, I do want to touch on the soundtrack. The soundtrack is absolutely incredible. There were plenty of times where I decided I wanted to listen to something else for a little while, so I would turn it off, but then the next time I came back to the game, I thought to myself, I kinda missed the soundtrack in the game, so I'd turn it back on. There are plenty of games out there where the soundtrack is just kind of fine or okay, and it's there to serve a purpose, and it does, but with TCG Card Shop Simulator, I'll admit, I muted it on occasion just because I wanted something different for a while, but I never once actually got annoyed by the soundtrack, which to me is kind of hard to do. Anyway, let's talk about the value or the amount of time you'll get out of this game. TCG Card Shop Simulator costs $13 US on Steam. I got 68 hours of gameplay out of this. I earned 39 of the 45 achievements, and I unlocked everything except for the final 2 storage room expansions, which I'll touch on in a bit. So with all of that said, TCG Card Shop Simulator earns a rating of 8.8 sausages out of 10. So I'm kinda sorta an older millennial. I grew up with the original 151 Pokemon, but I didn't really keep up with it after the first generation. With that said, these Tetramon creatures look incredible. Before playing this game, if you had asked me to tell the difference between a Pokemon and a Tetramon, well, I honestly don't think I could have. If it's not clear, the Tetramon designs are easily the best part of this game. The higher tier cards feel exciting to pull and rewarding to collect, and the early to mid game pacing felt great. Unfortunately, in the late part of the game, around level 100, the progression slowed significantly, or at least it felt like it did. The last two storage expansions I told you about earlier, well, those unlock at levels 110 and 115. I think I made it to about level 108. The late game levels take several in-game days to complete. If I had to guess, maybe 5 days for one level, and each day, again, if I had to guess, was maybe 20 minutes per day. So 20 times 5 times however many levels. The point is, it takes a long time to get to levels 110 and 115, and it was only for 2 expansions to the storage room, so I just chose not to do it. The reason for that is because the end game gameplay loop became repetitive, and that all you did was restock items and cards, scan items, refill the pack opener machine, trade cards with customers, and send cards out for grading. The grind eventually outweighed any sense of progression, but on a positive note, the card collecting remained satisfying, the management systems stayed functional, and the soundtrack never became irritating. Even with all of those things I just said that didn't work for me, I still had a great time putting the hours into this game. I really did enjoy the game, up until the last part. So, TCG Card Shop Simulator delivers a strong core management loop, the card collecting and grading add meaningful depth to the game, the visual design of the cards is a standout feature, the late game pacing holds it back from being truly great, but despite that, the value for the price is extremely high. In fact, the developers have also shared a public roadmap outlining future content, with planned additions aimed to expand systems and late game progression. So, if those updates land well, then the dedicated players will likely get even more time out of this game. So, if you've ever wanted to run a game store, chase rare cards, and financially benefit from spraying customers with deodorant, well, TCG Card Shop Simulator is absolutely worth checking out. And that's my review of TCG Card Shop Simulator. If you got this far, consider liking, subscribing, and leaving a little comment below, but if not, just know that I appreciate your viewership nonetheless. I also stream on Twitch occasionally, I have a Discord for both content creators and casual viewers alike, and I'm a Steam curator, so consider following me on all of those platforms as well. I'll leave a link to everything in the description below. Anyway, I think I'm going to cut my review here. Mahoney out.